All right, you ready for science on this Monday, April 27th? Of course you are. Okay, we are going to start a new chapter today. We are beginning chapter 11 on the respiratory system. And so I want you to turn in your books to page 263. 263, this is the first page in your chapter. And we are going to look at this together. And then I'm going to give you a little project to look at today. I've sent you a few websites through an email this morning with some links, and I'm going to show you a little bit on the one I have on the side here. But let's read this page together first, page 263. Let's take a trip inside your lungs. The tiny passageways there are lined with hair-like structures called cilia. The lining of your lungs makes a sticky mucus, which traps dust, bacteria, and other particles you breathe in. The cilia beat waves to sweep this mucus and all it captures out of your lungs to keep them clear and healthy. Scientists today have learned to make artificial cilia they can control, but these cilia are not as complex as those God designed for your body. That's because no one knows how cilia are so coordinated, since they have no nerves. Imagine a rowing team trying to coordinate without talking to each other. Artificial cilia have only 4 different parts and contain tiny magnetic particles. Scientists move them by changing magnetic fields. The actions of artificial cells are not nearly as precise or productive as the cilia in your body. As scientists and inventors look to the human body for design ideas, it draws our attention to God, the greatest designer of all. Okay, so here's what's cool. Because God is creator, and we know that He created things to work in the environment and the place where He put them, nature is the best place to look for how to design things. And inventors know that, scientists know that. There is something called biomimicry. Biomimicry. Mimicry means copying something, and bio means life. So copying life. And a lot of inventions have come from the fact that people are observing real life nature and seeing how it works. Well, why does that work so well? Because God designed it to work in a certain way. So if we want to know how to create something that is going to do something well, then we look at nature, because nature is designed to work that way. And it's amazing that even scientists who are looking at these animals and looking at nature for ideas aren't giving credit to the creator that's behind it. Remember how we said earlier this year how honoring the created thing is just like praising a house? So if I were to walk down the street and see a house that I really liked, to say, wow, good job, house. Great job being a house. That's silly, isn't it? The same as it is to praise the giraffe or to praise the elephant for how well it is designed. You would look to who designed that, who created that, and then praise that. So that gives us the ability to praise and honor God. So today we're going to look at some examples of things that have been or are being developed based on what scientists and inventors have noticed in nature. And so the first thing I want you to do, though, is get out your activity manual page and look at page 173, looking ahead. Okay? And I want you to look at 1 through 8 and answer those questions. Remember, this is the page that gives us an idea of what we're going to talk about, but we don't have to have the right answers. So don't look in your chapter. Don't focus on trying to have the right answers. Just do your best guessing here, and it's really giving yourself a pretest to say, what do I know? It's called testing your background knowledge. Whenever you go into learning something new, you want to see what you already know, and you want to see what questions you have so that you can develop your knowledge. And if you can't come up with any really good questions, that means there's a lot more for you to learn. Questions come out of knowledge, which is the interesting part about questions. So you have 2 spots down there at the bottom to come up with questions. One on the respiratory system. So try to say more than just what is it. Try to think about what you think it has and then add to that. And then respiratory diseases. Again, try not to just say, what are they? But to think about one that you know and ask a question about it. Okay? Now, here's your little project today. Based on the websites I sent you a couple. One, I really like the Did You Know Science. It has some good ideas. But this one is probably my favorite. This is the Popular Mechanics site. And it is a little slideshow called How Animals Shaped Our World. So if you go down to this part, now some of them, the way that I've got my screen, it's squished, so I can just scroll, but yours may have an arrow that you just click to the side. And it has just short little explanations of things that are being developed or are developed based on what someone noticed in nature. So mosquitoes and surgical needles, and it tells you right at the top, okay? Fireflies and LED light bulbs. So I want you to look at some of these ideas. These are so amazing, so cool, that they have looked at what is in nature to come up with what we have now, because that's what works best. Why? Because we have a creator. And there's some good ideas here. There's also some really good explanation on the Did You Know Science. So look at a few of those, and then when you go to comment, okay, if you're the first one, you can pick anything you want. If you're watching this now, what I want you to do right now is look at the comments and see what other people have chosen. Just on this one site, there's 24 examples. So you could pick something that someone else has not chosen already just from this site. So I want you to look at the comments, pick something that has not been chosen yet, and then go to this website, and I want you to read about that one example, okay? And give me a sentence. Don't just say fireflies, LED light bulbs. I want you to give me a sentence and say, scientists have used fireflies to make LED light bulbs by looking at blank. Tell me a little bit about how the two are connected, okay? So your sentence should prove to me that you read this little paragraph. It's not much, okay? So your sentence needs to prove to me that you're understanding what they have observed and how it's connected to their invention, okay? Pick one someone else hasn't done. This was fun for me to discover and explore. So have fun exploring, and that's our lesson for today. And then tomorrow we're going to get more into understanding the respiratory system.